April 14th, 2011. It is day 6.
Welcome to Barker News Live, the Blue Ribbon Edition. This special episode will feature our core values: kindness, community, and personal best. We'll be broadcasting from the hallways of our school to give you a glimpse of what kind of learning takes place here at Barker. We're sure every student thinks their school is the best, but we know it's true in our class. You will too when you see the kind of work we've been creating and producing all year, along with the caring culture that exists here.
The next sample is just a segment, just some of the ways that we learn at Parker Middle School. Teachers work hard to create project-based assignments that we are extremely proud of. We hope you enjoy yours.
A Race Against Time by Juliana Ryan. Hi, my name is Celia Abby Bogersonfield, Cab for short. I am 13 and this is the story of my kidnapping. I will start at the beginning. August 8th, 2009. It was a lovely day and I was walking back home from school. Suddenly, a van pulled up next to me. I screamed, but no one was around at the time and my two abductors were very fast. Before I knew it, I was in the back of the van. They had put a sack over my head. I asked, "Are you going to kill me?" An Italian-accented male voice answered me. He said, "As long as you don't talk or scream, we won't." He said it so firmly, I thought I would never make it out alive. We drove for about...
This is a recording by Sarah, Sonia, Drew, and Connor. This is Sarah, and I read 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher.
This is Sonia, and I read Rosie is Red by Cecile Castellucci.
This is Connor. I read The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins.
This is Drew, and I read The Gift by James Patterson.
It's unique how all of our books have life, death, and romance in them. Isn't suicide a horrible thing? I mean, why would anybody want to ever kill themselves? Is their life really that bad?
Yeah, I mean, I guess their life could be that bad, and maybe it could be like their way to get away from it, but we kind of stay away from it because, like, in Reading, we don't hear about it that much.
Hello, my name is Brad, and today I'm going to read an excerpt from my piece, DC Trip. This story is about when I went to Washington, D.C. When the train left the station and started moving, I walked over to the soldier, shook his hand, and thanked him for his service. He kneeled down and talked to me. He seemed really surprised and happy that I made the effort to talk to him. I think he was feeling a little sad until he spoke. I was at Arlington National Cemetery visiting.
Hello, my name is Jane, and today I'm going to read an excerpt from my piece, Speechless. This story is about meeting a Holocaust survivor. His name was Edgar Krasa. When I first saw Edgar, I was shocked. I don't know what I was expecting, but he seemed too, well, normal. He was just a regular guy. The minute I laid eyes on him, I erased all of my previous stereotypical images of survivors. I realized that a survivor could be anyone, whether they'd survived a deadly disease, a tragic loss, or unbearable conditions. They were all survivors. You don't need a certain look to have gone through such adversity. Edgar Krasa was a perfect example.
Hi, my name is Austin Kilduff, and today I'm going to read an excerpt from my piece, Any Given Sunday. This story is about my playoff game in Everett against the undefeated Everett Eagles. We were 7-1, so it was pretty scary for our team. "Are you ready?" I said, "Are you ready?" he said. We all screamed, "Yes, coach," with excitement. Then we ran onto the field, screaming and yelling as loud as we could. We were hoping to get the ball first, so we would make the first strike on the scoreboard. We won the coin toss and elected to receive. Just what we wanted. Boos flying in all directions. We were heavy underdogs of the undefeated City Tough.
This presentation is by Katie with help from Laura and Leonard. What if you were offered $1 million or a clue that could lead you to be the most famous person in history? If you had to choose one, which one would you pick? The $1 million or the clue that leads to 38 more clues? Well, in the book, The 39 Clues by Rick Riordan, Amy and Dan choose the clues not knowing what kind of danger they're really in. This is Amy. This is Dan. Amy had long red hair, unlike Dan's, which is dark blonde. This helped Dan pretend his sister was an alien imposter, but unfortunately they had the same eyes. Green, like Jade, their grandmother used to say. Amy was 3 years older and 6 inches taller than Dan, and she never let him forget it, like being 14 was such a big deal. Usually she wore jeans and some old t-shirt because she didn't like people noticing her.
You go to the Quill Online, you'll find original pieces of artwork and poetry and writing by all Parker Middle School students, all of your classmates. What's the difference between writing a piece of writing for English class and writing something for the Quill for other students to read?
In English class, well, it depends. Sometimes you have an audience, but if you don't share it, then you don't. And also, for the Quill, you can write about really anything you want, where in English class, sometimes it's assigned.
It was cool to see it online. I like having work that other people can see. I think I'd work a lot harder on something that would be published on like a newspaper, because a grade is just a grade. It's on like punctuation or like a certain format, but when you do something that's all your own, you want it to be as good as it can possibly be.
It's thequillonline.wordpress.com. Thank you.
Hello guys, we are talking about canal locks. Che Wei-yo, a provincial transportation commissioner, built the first quarter chamber or pound lock on the Grand Canal in 983 AD.
Before locks, the Chinese had to drag their boats up stone ramps to reach water at a higher level, which could seriously damage the boats. Locks were a great new way to move boats to different water levels.
Canal locks allowed boats to be transported to different water levels easily and efficiently, therefore making travel and trade much easier.
Canals are still used today in many places, including the famous Panama Canal.
Locks in the Welland Canal raised ships 325 feet between Lakes Ontario and Erie by using 8 locks.
Locks worked like this. A boat entered the lock, which sealed behind it. Then the water level in the lock changed to match the water level of the place the boat wanted to get to, either by letting water out of the lock or into it. The other side of the lock opened.
Poetry night!
We came to the rainforest in the 1970s to learn about environmentalists. Listen to this melody. We want the rainforest to be developed slower and smarter. We understand this is harder. Oh. So please try and stop deforestation so these wonderful animals can live in relaxation.
You're putting the Amazon in danger. The animals do not like you strangers. You may think that we are doing the same, but don't point your fingers at us. We're not the ones to blame.
Nile River by Quinn, Alec, Rory, and Ruthie. The Nile River flows through Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, and Uganda. It is the longest river in the world, covering over 4,000 miles. It is surrounded by the Libyan Desert, Arabian Desert, Mediterranean Sea, and the Nubian Desert. It is one of the 3 rivers in the world that flows south to north. The flood season is from June to September. The planting season is from September to February. The harvest season is from February to June. During low Nile, people would starve because they didn't have any water to drink or water to water their crops. During high Nile, the people of Egypt were very well fed and had enough water from the flood. In the river, there were a lot of cataracts, and they were narrow and they would force water through, creating rapids or waterfalls. The 3 gifts of the Nile are 1. Thick black mud, 2. Water supply, 3. Fish, duck, geese, and other edible water birds.
Hello everyone, I'll be your host today on What's Up with the Ancients.
The television show that brings famous ancients back to life.
We have a very special guest today, all the way from ancient France.
join me in welcoming our special ancient of the day.
Can you please tell the audience what your name is?
Sure, my name is Haraz. What time period are you from? I'm from the Paleolithic Age, also known as the Old Stone Age.
Our audience knows that the Paleolithic Age started 2.5 million years ago and lasted.
We just had very simple animal skin pelts that were draped around us.
That's all the time we have for today.
What's up with the ancients?
Join us next time for a great interview with another.
Mali is located in Western Africa, southwest of Algeria and east of Senegal. It is about 475,000 square miles, about twice the size of Texas.
Mali is also one of the poorest countries in the world. 65% of Mali's land is desert or semi-desert. This land is too dry to grow crops, although some is used for grazing animals.
Agricultural activities, such as farming and tending livestock, make up 70% of Mali's labor force and comprise
Alternative energy. For too long, the use of fossil fuels and our reliance on foreign oil has been destroying our economy and our planet. Energy sources such as coal and gasoline have been releasing harmful greenhouse gases into our atmosphere, and we have become much too reliant on them. But we may have a solution.
Wind energy could be our best option. Wind energy is a form of alternate energy that uses wind turbines to generate energy. It is very good for the environment because it doesn't give off harmful gases or chemicals like some other energy sources do. In the process of wind turbine supplying energy, the first step is with the rotors.
65 kilowatt wind turbines. Some of them are still there and operating. We've grown through the 90s with 300 and 600 and 900 kilowatt turbines, and today typically we're dealing with 1.5 and 2.5 megawatt wind turbines. For those of you who aren't wind weenies, a megawatt of wind will provide enough energy on an annual basis for about 250 homes. So we have grown a long way in the wind technology, not only in the size of these machines, but also in the operations. Back in 1980, these machines would only be operating 60% of the time because of maintenance problems. Now they're typically operating 95% of the time, or available 95% of the time that the wind is blowing. So back when Young America, which that's my program.
New Generation Wind has supposed to put 7 wind turbines on private property. This is a company that supports the construction of wind turbines and wind energy all across America and along the Cape. We were lucky enough to talk to a man who worked for this company, Greg O'Brien.
Generation wind turbine project in Bourne is 7 100-meter wind turbines.
Ted Kennedy Jr. brought up a good point that was generally stated in his article. He made it plain that wind energy is possibly not the best form of alternate energy, but that biomass and hydroelectric energy are much better choices economically and environmentally.
Alternative energy is one of the biggest controversies in the United States today. Are you for or against it? It's time for